cutting stakes and increasing stakes in some of those companies. Let's move on. Let's talk about Blue Star. The third quarter numbers have been slightly disappointing. There is a loss at the EBITDA level. The net loss has also come in much higher than street expectations at about 33 odd crores. Let's bring in the management. Satish Jamdar is with us right now. Satish, thanks so much for joining us this morning on NDTV Profit. It's a bit of a disappointment as far as the numbers are concerned. I believe the net loss number is slightly higher than the street expectations. Can you explain the quarter? Where did the weakness come from, particularly because of the loss that we have seen at the EBITDA front as well?
Yes, good morning, Ashutosh. I did mention to you last quarter that, I showed a loss in the last quarter too, and I said there'll be some challenges for us going forward for a couple of quarters. Look at it in this way. Overall, at the corporate level, most corporates are facing this pressure due to inflationary costs. They've been really mounting. The cost of money has been going up, and lastly, the sort of planned situation that happened, I think, for everyone was around August, September, when the dollar suddenly perked up and almost rose about 10% against the rupee, and I think that caused a lot of hassles for many organizations, and so did bother us a bit. So here we had generally the downturn and the inflationary costs and the cost of money actually affecting us in a pretty significant way. On top of that, we've been facing some problem with our contracting electromechanical business, which is segment 1. I mentioned that to you last time that as we are running fixed cost jobs which last for a couple of quarters, maybe more than a year sometimes, we're getting hurt by the inflationary cost. We also seeing projects slowing down because the cash flow isn't coming, and so what happens is our projects sort of carry on extending, and then the cost of managing those projects starts increasing. So we actually been having a problem there, and my honest opinion is that we have to face this for maybe at least one more quarter, and I think then we should be out of the woods.
Right.
As far as the rest of the businesses are concerned, yeah. Hi, good morning, Bianca. I wanted to say that, you need to look at the perspective also this way, that Blue Star has many businesses. As part of it, you see segment 2 and 3, first of all. And even in segment 1, there is the package air conditioning, which is part of segment 1, which is not as badly affected. In fact, is profitable. So are all the other businesses. In fact, we had a great growth in our room air conditioning business in the last 3 quarters. We've beaten the street, we've beaten the markets. We, in fact, gained market share. Very recently, in the last couple of weeks, we've been out launching a whole new range of products on the room ACs. We sort of grown about 25-30%, where the market has shrunk 10% this year. So there have been some positive signs. We have built a new factory in Ahmedabad, a second plant in Gujarat now. We hope to have more retail outlets for our room AC, including a factory outlet in Thane, some larger format stores, and things like that, which are indications of what's going to happen. The other major positive thing that happened was our borrowings, which I mentioned to you would need to come down. We had actually gone little way beyond our expectations and our requirements or what we wanted to have. Our borrowings had crossed 600 crores by September, and that was not feeling comfortable at all for us. Our debt equity ratio crossed 1.1. May I continue? But just to finish this off, the borrowings have actually come down by more than 150 crores in this quarter, and that sort of indicates that things are on the mend for us.
Okay, so
that's the summary I could give you. Yeah.
Okay, great. You've just highlighted for us, how the quarter has gone by. And yes, you've just also launched a new range of air conditioners. We hope that there is traction coming in from that side going ahead. But you sounded a little bearish on the coming quarter. So we'd like a brief outline on how much of, an impact you see from rising input costs, and perhaps if you also expect Forex losses in the next quarter.
The segment one is the one which we need to tackle because the rest of the businesses, though affected, I must say they are all affected by the downturn and by the inflationary costs, but they are not so badly affected because there is a growth for them, and that growth allows us some flexibility. In case of our electromechanical projects, actually we have cut back on the bookings. We put some new conditions. As you know, around Q1, when we started noticing the problem, we changed the leadership of this division, and since then we've been looking at each project in detail. There are almost 1,000 projects that we have to contend with, going back into their costs and looking at material management, looking at dealing with the customers on cash flows, and seeing that the projects move forward or close them down even prematurely if necessary. So all these steps have been taken. Honestly, I think we'll have to contend with one more quarter of difficulties ahead before we start seeing profits next year. That's my expectation for how the year will pan out now. So you just really asked me about the last quarter. I think it'll still be a difficult quarter and challenging one for us, especially in the
Satish, we hope that things improve
overall.
for you very soon.
Overall, I'm assuming. Yeah, thank you very much.
Right, Satish, we'll have to wrap it up. We are
overall. I just let me add. This last thing is that, Shudha, the last thing is that I believe the interest rate should come down, and that should start helping in this business. Okay, thanks a lot. Nice to talk to you again.
Thank you so much, Satish. We'll bring you on a more detailed interaction to try and find out the extent of business and what are your plans for the next couple of quarters, maybe sometime next week. Thank you so much for joining us to talk about the performance. Let me move on and bring in Pankaj.